Welcome back, and happy Thursday, everyone. Rufus and the others' plan was a failure. As we learned last week, nothing can stop the inevitable. What a bust! But I kinda hoped it'd work. Damn Shinra! We've been bothering them as much as we can. But there ain't no other way. Wonder if we've been all wrong about this. Makes you worry, doesn't it? Don't worry, think. Good advice, Tifa. Hey, girl's right. You start worrying and there's no stopping it. Things just start falling apart and getting worse and worse. Wisdom from Sid, this game. You're pretty damn optimistic. You up to something? Yeah, I've been thinking about this and that. Drinking a lot, too. All the time we've been up there looking at the planet. I've been thinking even when we were floating in the ocean in that escape pod. Thinking I could do a better job than Tom Hanks. I've been thinking, too, about the universe, the planet, the ocean. Pretty birds. How wide and big. No matter where I go and what I do, it won't change a thing. Except that pretty bird. I can shoot him out of the sky. Maybe you're right. But I came up with something different. Because I'm better than you. I always thought this planet was so huge. But looking at it from space, I realized it's so small. We're just floating in the dark. Kinda makes you feel powerless. On top of that, it's got Sephiroth festering inside it like a sickness. That's why I say this planet is still a kid. A little kid sick and trembling in the middle of this huge universe. Someone's gotta protect it. You follow me? That someone is us. Sid, that's beautiful. I know, right? Yo, Sid! You even got to me! Dude! Now what? How are we gonna protect the planet from Meteor? I'm not crying! I'm still thinking about that. And he pops his flask, and the moment is ruined. Huh? I guess not. Did you hear something? I totally didn't fart. The planet scream, or Meteor? Is it this planet? Hey, how do we know that this is really the planet's scream? Did you forget? Bugenhagen told us. I remember Bugenhagen showed us a light show. Bugenhagen. Let's go see Grandfather to Cosmo Canyon. So this is kind of your next plot thread. I'm sure he'll be able to help us. Something that will, or tell us something that will be helpful. So now that we have all the huge materia, and we kind of start things up again into the plot involving Sephiroth, our next plot thread is to go to Cosmo Canyon. I'm just going to go ahead and warn people in advance. We're probably not going to be doing that right off the bat because we have a lot of stuff to go and collect, but I am going to kind of do a transition here, going from one play session to the next. So happy Thursday, everybody. I hope everybody's having an awesome day so far. For me, we're just in preparation mode over here for Baby to Come. And in fact, you guys are getting a double dose of Final Fantasy VII this week because I completely forgot to record last week. I know that's not a good enough excuse, but that's the excuse I have. I completely forgot to record last week because of everything else that's going on. So I decided to give you guys a double dose and make up for last week as well as do for this week. which is going to be kind of appropriate since the plot threads here are kind of going to come together. Especially in the fact that Shinra's attempt to take down Meteor didn't necessarily work. Now, before we go to Cosmo Canyon, we're going to take care of a little bit of side questing. One thing in particular we're going to do, actually, I'm deciding against it because I like Tifa, is we're also going to start collecting final weapons. So this is actually around that time when you can start collecting final limit breaks. We've actually been collecting some over the last couple of parts. So all you have to do is go talk to this guy. My precious rocket, it's gone. I invested so much time in it too. Aw, sorry, dude. I know, no matter how much I look, the rocket's still gone. And now, but I just can't stop it. Just call it an old man's folly, if you will. Aw, poor guy. He's missing his model rocket. Sorry to get you into this. For me, it's kind of a hobby. But out of appreciation, let me give you this. And if you do that, then you receive the Venus Gospel. I wish you'd take care of it and use it. So you have to, I believe you have to have Sid in your party for this, for it to work. Otherwise, I just wanted to have him in there. But the Venus Gospel is technically his final weapon, and the final weapons are super powerful, but as you guys kind of noticed, the growth on them is absurdly bad. It is, in fact, nothing. So if you want to grow materia while leveling, it's not worth it. But these things are the ultimate weapon that you want to walk into the final battle with. So it's kind of a, if you're leveling, you use something else to help grow the materia, and then move back over to the Venus Gospel when you're doing other things, other particular tasks in the story. Now, speaking of limit breaks, like I said, we have gotten a few up until this point, but a few are still eluding us, and in fact, a lot of them we're actually going to have to wait until Disc 3 to go and get. But we actually did have access to Barrett's limit break right as soon as we completed the Corel Reactor Huge Materia quest, and I actually never got it. I completely forgot to go get it. So right now I'm just looking through the village. You have to find a particular person to talk to, which is this girl off in the left corner. And I thought it was like one of the innkeepers or one of the shopkeepers that you had to talk to get his final limit break. No, it's actually that woman. So you guys are just gonna see me wander around aimlessly. But yeah, like I said, I wanted to give you guys kind of a double dose, considering that I completely forgot to record last week, and that was on me. And I know I've been having a lot of issues when it comes to things like Final Fantasy, so here you go. We're going to do a double dose for you guys this week. Is it going to be a consistent thing? That's a little hard to tell. In fact, I've been kind of debating on slowing things down for Final Fantasy VII, mainly because I'm still working on my dry run for Final Fantasy VIII to make sure I know where to grind. And I'm not done. I am nowhere near done. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and spoil this in advance. I'm not looking forward to doing 8. I'm not the biggest fan of 8. I think there are good things about it, but its gameplay is not one of them. And so at that point, I've been kind of having to force myself to play 8. I even had the thought of, like, maybe I'll bypass it to 9, which I absolutely adore. Yeah, the problem is that I know a lot of you have been waiting for 7 and then 8 to see my kind of viewpoints on it. Although a few of you have kind of made it clear, like, if you don't respond like Spoony and a bunch of other people, then we're not going to watch it. I don't know what to tell you. Is Meteor really going to crash down on us? I'm still young. I'll never marry again. Okay. This memento is all I have left of my husband. I'll give it to you if you'll please stop Meteor. So if you do that, then you get Catastrophe, which is Barrett's final limit break. So thankfully, in my grinding, I've been able to get... Now, in order to equip the final limit breaks, you have to have all the other limits so that you can get access to it. And in my grinding, I've been able to unlock them all. So now all you have to do is Catastrophe is basically an item, and we just give it to him, and boom, no sweat. And for those who aren't sure, like, which ones we have Yuffie's final limit break, which we got in Wutai, and we also have Red 13's final limit break, as we got that in the Shinra mansion when we opened up that safe. So not only do you get like the Odin materia, you get that boss fight, but you also get, oh crap, what's it called? Cosmo Memory, which is Red 13's final limit break. So here we go, on to the next task. Trust me, we have a lot of tasks to take on right now. And the next task is going to involve using the submarine. Now, I kind of mentioned this last time, where the submarine kind of involves a lot of risk, because again, one of the hardest fights, as you can see off in the distance, is Emerald Weapon, and he can only be accessed underwater. So you just have to be really careful. You can't you can't get close to him, otherwise you engage the battle, and we'll get trounced because we have none of the, well, we have a few pieces of the materia that we need, but they're not properly paired, and it's actually more of a problem than a help. Oh, and there he is off in the distance again. Fun fact, like when I used to play this at the beginning, I looked for him. I didn't, as soon as I saw him underwater, I'm like, dude, there's a big thing under here. And there he is. At least I think, yeah, that is Emerald Weapon. I actually looked for him. I did the battle. I'm just like, dude, this is insane. And then I actually looked up like guides for how to take him down, because I, at that point, was really interested in that. Looking up the guide and what you actually need to be able to do it really was what dissuaded me from actually doing it. To this day, I've never killed Emerald Weapon or his Disc 3 compatriot Ruby Weapon. Never killed him. I have no intention of killing them. You can get their rewards really early on. So this is the leader sub. So this is the sub we actually took down in Junin. Damn, makes me sick just thinking about it. Huge materia recovered. No damage appears to have been sustained. Whew, that's good to hear. I don't know what's making him sick. Receive key item, huge materia. So that's all 4. We have Corel, we have Fort Condor, we have Nibelheim now because of the rocket, and now we finally have the Junin one. Which is important considering we're going to Cosmo Canyon, and that's actually what you, where you store them. And there's a reason for that. We'll get there when we get there. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make my way back to Junin and make port. And then we'll move on into the next major task that we need to take on. But since we're getting real, I have no problem saying this. We're getting really close to the end of the game. You're going to be seeing a lot of side questing, especially in Disc 3. Because I'm going to show, like, all of the cool things that you can do aside from Emerald and Ruby Weapon. As I've said in earlier parts, I'm not taking them on. I have no intention of taking them on. Okay, so our next destination, I believe... Is it Cosmo Canyon? Actually, we might be doing Cosmo Canyon right now, because now it's kind of more relevant for us to do it. Yep. So let's go ahead and meet up with Bugenhagen and see if he has maybe any advice that he can give us to solve the Meteor Sephiroth problem. Welcome back to Cosmo Canyon, everybody. Oh, it's you. This is terrible. The color of that unlucky star. I know, right? The children are all so scared that they won't even go outside. I'd rather not see it either. I can agree with you on that. Now, before we actually go and talk to Bugenhagen, there is another secret that can be obtained in Cosmo Canyon. And what this secret is actually going to pertain to end game, as it's a materia that now becomes available. Not through buying it, but the way to get it becomes available. Now, unfortunately, you guys are going to see me kind of wandering around because I had to figure out. It's in a shop, but you actually go behind the counter. And so I had to figure out which shop it was that was going to let you do that. And I always make this mistake. I always think it's this one, and it's not. Even though technically you can go to the side of the counter, it's not necessarily that one. Jeez, and of course it's still allergy season, so... Ugh. Stuffed up to all heck. But yeah, like I was saying with Final Fantasy VIII, we're going to do it. It's just, I don't have a problem with the story of 8. My problem is with the gameplay. The gameplay is always such a chore to deal with. The best way I know how to describe it is, even though it's worse, Final Fantasy II, where you have to level individual stats. This one in particular, you have to do, well, we'll get more into it when we actually take on Final Fantasy VIII, but it's very similar to the whole leveling your stats kind of thing, except in this case, the purpose of it goes against everything as a Final Fantasy fan you're used to doing, because any Final Fantasy fan who's been playing the games up until 7 at this point, there are a couple of staunch realities of a JRPG. And 8 tries to go against the grain on them, and so it's like trying to unteach yourself for 10 years how to brush your teeth. You're so used to how you do it, you're so used to the motions, or going through the motions, that changing it all of a sudden is just, it's literally like in your head going 2 + 2 = chair. It's not entirely all that possible. And here is the shop. So there's some green materia right there. And we get the full cure materia, along with an elixir and a magic source. That's cool. So the full cure materia, we do want this. This is exactly what it says it is. It only has one spell, and that's full cure. As soon as you do that, then you get all your HP back, but it is expensive. Basically, think of Cure 4 in a lot of the older Final Fantasy games. You can put it on. It's expensive as hell, though. It might not necessarily be the best idea for you to take on. There we go. Now, let's go ahead and go up and visit Bugenhagen and see if maybe he has some answers to our dilemma. Since obviously he was watching to see if the Shinra plan worked too. We saw that in the cutscene. And maybe now he has some kind of idea. We also want Bugenhagen for other means, but you guys are going to see that in a second. So go ahead and step on into the cabin. Yay, or the observatory. He's not around here. For some reason, I always think he's at the top in this particular quest, and no, that's not the case. There you go. In case you've never seen the top of Cosmo Canyon, you've now seen it. Is it worth it? Up to you. I would have liked something to be up there. That would have been awesome, but no, not really. So here is where Bugenhagen is. If you ever are in need of my wisdom, you are always welcome here. Yeah, that's kind of why we came. Oh, what to do? Have you lost your way? When that happens, we each have to take a good long look at ourselves. Okay. There's always something in the deepest reaches of our hearts. Ah, crap, he's going Kingdom Hearts on us! Something buried, or something forgotten. Remember it. Whatever that is, must certainly be what you all are looking for. Ho 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 ho! That's easy enough to say, but I can't remember a thing. It must be there. Look harder, damn it! I'm giving Mr. Miyagi advice. No good, Cloud. Let's have the others come. I don't know if I can fit everybody, but okay, I guess you're just gonna go ahead and call them. That's fine. It's only my house. Do you see it? What is it that you are searching for? Nope, not a thing. Nah, can't come up with a thing. Me either. I don't get any of this. I'm a freaking ninja. I remember Eris a lot. No, not that. You haven't remembered. You haven't forgotten. That's not it. How would you say it? Eris was right there all along, right by our side. She was so close, we couldn't see her, what Eris did. The words she left behind. That reminds me, I was the same. As was I. Me too! She said she was the only one who could stop Sephiroth's meteor. But Aeris is gone. Is it impossible for us to carry on what Aeris tried to accomplish? We ain't no ancients, if that's what you mean. What? Did that girl go off to that place? Sorry, I was drunk at the time. That's it. What's it? We don't know about it. What did Aeris know? Why did she face Sephiroth without running away? I see. She returned there once again, correct? Perhaps I'll have you take me there. You're going too? What's so surprising about that? Even I want to get out from time to time and see the outside world. I wonder what did it. I haven't felt like this in ages. It must be the planet. The planet is calling you. Yeah, oh boy. Planet calling. Right. Then let's go. Oh yeah, Bugenhagen, I have one more thing I want to ask you. We're carrying around huge materia. This is pretty delicate stuff, and we would like to keep it in a safe place. Then we'll put it upstairs. Now, shall we be on our way? And by upstairs, he actually means in here. You'll see in a second. I'll teach you how to work the machine. Watch carefully now. You just pull this here. And raise the platform once again. And this actually becomes a hub for the huge materia, which actually become a very beneficial boon to have. Is this what you call huge materia? This is really rare materia indeed. Materia this rare is certain to have a special consciousness enclosed in it. And you'll notice that they're all colored. So if you take a look at them, huge materia, and it's glowing strangely. Get closer. The huge materia emitted a fiery glow. This color, it's the same color as summon materia. Huh. Funniest thing about that. Go to the green one, huge materia, it's glowing strangely. It emitted a gentle glow. This color, it's the same as magic materia. Okay. Then you go over to the yellow one. It's glowing strangely. Emitted a quiet glow. This color, it's the same as command materia, which is technically the classification. I don't know how they would know that, but okay. Huge materia, it's glowing strangely. Get closer. Emitted a cold glow. Is that Bahamut? Oh. Bahamut, Neo Bahamut's materia glows brightly. This can only be obtained if you have this one plus both Bahamuts. And then you get Bahamut 0. So there are 3 Bahamuts in this game. 3 of them. And frankly, Neo is like my least favorite, and Bahamut 0 is pretty up there. I love the original Bahamut, though. I love that summon in this game. It kind of goes on to establish how he looks in future games. It's glowing strangely, so go back down. Good. Now let's leave. Do you remember how to use the machine down below? If you ever want to see materia, come here anytime. That's nice of him. So he's going to hide it, but these other 3 materia are going to come into play probably in Disc 3. Smells like machinery. I love this smell. Of course, I also love the smell of nature, too. The deck is up there. Then I'll be on the deck just passing the time. I can feel the workings of the planet in the smell of the wind.
I also feel the greatness of man's wisdom and the knowledge in the smell of machinery.
Well, bye for now. And this actually starts up a whole new quest line and a whole new plot thread to take on, but that's going to go ahead and do it for this week. When we come back next week, we will then go out and do a little bit more side questing, plus go back to where most of this plot thread started.